Hi, Arrow.
Hello and good morning. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you? Tell me the genesis of your name, Arrow.
It was created in Lewistown, Montana in 1981 to be a character in a book that my first wife was writing, and we wanted it to be a club owner's name, and we thought, okay, let's go with Arrow, but let's put an E on it. And then we jumped in with Collins, and then when I moved back to Billings, Montana, I thought I don't want to be that other person I was. I want to be Arrow. I like the way that Arrow was in this storyline, and that's where it all came from.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that.
Well, people in the writing world, as well as in movies and even on the radio, we all have this pattern in our lives where we're not trying to escape the world. We just want to be on the stage. And then when we leave it, that's it. We drop it behind us and we go and we have a normal life. Now, when you put this book together, Underwater Daughter, did you not escape into a world?
As you mean, as I was writing it?
As you were writing it, because you had to go there mentally and physically.
Yeah, I mean, definitely to write everything that I wrote was reliving a lot of past experience and sort of experiencing all of these things in an adult perspective. So, yes, you're absolutely right. And as a creative person, I'm super grateful that I actually took the initiative and had the opportunity and the wherewithal and the means to be able to do something like this. It's a true gift.
I would love to know how much weight you lost mentally by putting this book together, because you were carrying around a lot of things for many years. And then when you release these paragraphs and now the book to us, it's like you've got to feel a sense of freedom right now.
That's a really interesting thought, and I was just thinking about this the other day. As I was creating, the storyline, right, or putting the prose together, it was such a disciplined, all-consuming endeavor that there wasn't as much reflection about that particular part of it. And literally, I think last week I was thinking, wow, I spent so many years of my life silently holding on to so much stuff, and it was exhausting. And that just became part of who I was, and this inability to really come out, so to speak, in the world. And you're absolutely right. To now be sitting on the other side of that, knowing that I don't have all these little secrets that I'm carefully, knitted together in the back recesses of my mind. It's a huge, huge difference of being in the world. No question.
One of the things that really opens up my heart about this book, Underwater Daughter, is the fact that I spend so much time on iHeartRadio talking about this, and that is that if we don't get it out on paper, then our minds will continue to rewrite the story, and it will rewrite it until we become satisfied with
yeah, I think that our thoughts and our minds are so incredibly powerful and all-encompassing in the sense that we're essentially all humans living in our minds all of the time, right? And largely creating our own stories. So, I mean, I think that one thing I thought maybe you were going to go from what you were saying was that at least by finally getting these stories or our stories out there, we create the potential of helping someone else who's struggling in the exact same way, with maybe not even the same types of trauma or experiences, but the fact that we, insulate ourselves and bury these stories in a way that it can't be healthy for anyone.
That's interesting that you bring that up, and I'm going to give you a challenge, okay? Because I've been a daily writer since July of 1994, because I've gone through a lot of trauma. It was Julia Cameron that brought me out through The Artist Way, and I became that daily writer. But I also turned it into a podcast. You're right. Your story has the ability and the power to change people's lives. And if you did a 5 to 10 minute podcast each day or each week, just expressing what you move through those storms with, I guarantee the listeners would be there and they would understand their own lives a lot better, because you have been to hell and you don't want anybody else to go there.
That's quite a challenge. I mean, I like the idea, absolutely. And one thing I am doing is I hold online, thanks to COVID, Zoom writing sessions.
Nice.
I precede the writing prompt work with people, with women, with about a 10-minute guided meditation. And to be honest, that was one thing that has reinforced and bolstered, my writing, my changing my story in my mind, is all the time I've devoted to self-work through meditation.
Yes.
And like I alluded to earlier, we are our thoughts 100% of the time, and we do have the ability to change our responses to these thoughts, our reactions to them, and what we're actually generating, right? So who knows? Maybe I'll grab a mic too.
You write about something that really is, it affects me deeply, because I used to be that kid that would stand in the mirror in the bed as a child, and I would put makeup on my face because it was creating a mask. You talk about that as well, creating that mask. I was jealous that the girls got to wear the makeup, basically.
I agree. I mean, I've raised 5 kids, and I tried to be as, certainly as what we're really feeling. And it's universal. I think that I just haven't come across anyone that doesn't have some kind of self-coping and self-soothing that hides us or protects us.
Oh my God, to protect us. That would be, it's all about comfort and security. And if we can't find it, we're going to go looking for it. And there are no rules and boundaries for that. We're going to find it. And even if it means breaking a rule.
The protection, it kind of boils down to fear, right? And all the different, lanes that fear manifests itself in our own minds. And how are we going to overcome this fear when we really, if we just, change the track and move the train over to the love lane, including self-love, right? Then I think that those needs for self-protection fall away.
Wow. What a powerful book, Underwater Daughter. And I just read an article just last week that was based on how these medical officials and mental officials can't help people, the younger adults, identify what their problems are. And yet a book like this, you can step into it and they're going to see a lot of things in their lives. And because you speak so transparent. And I can't thank you enough for sharing your honesty and the way that you made your way through those storms.
Oh, thank you very much, Errol. Your kind words are very, very meaningful to me, and I do hope that 1, 2, 10, I don't know, whoever resonates with some of my story and the ways in which I've tried to turn the fear into love. I just hope that that's impactful, like you say.
Well, it's because you believe in asking the questions and then questioning the answers. It took until you put your adult shoes on, but still, you're answering the questions with more questions on the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
You're right.
Please come back to this show anytime in the future. The door is always going to be open for you.
You're awesome, Errol. I would absolutely love to come back anytime.
Well, you be brilliant today, okay?
Hey, you too.